Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. Jesus Christ. What is Jesus talking about here? What does he mean when he says, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing? Well, Jesus is essentially looking at humanity. He's looking at the Romans who persecuted him. He's looking at Judas who betrayed him. He's basically looking at everyone who isn't in harmony with the laws of the universe, who isn't in harmony with the great universal Tao. And he's saying, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. He sees that everybody in the game is playing it at a different level. He sees the game. He sees how it is. He's at the Godhead. He's able to take himself outside of time and space, and he's able to look at what's happening. He's able to see that, oh, this is all an illusion. And oh, by the way, oh yeah, right, that was me who created this game. Right, oh, and I divided myself up into these little parts. Oh, and then I got lost in the game, and it's taken me eons to find my way back, and all these little parts, they think they're individual, and they're doing their thing, and they think they exist, and blah, blah, blah. He sees it all. He sees it all. He knows it all. So then, when he is being crucified on the cross, he's not looking at the people who are crucifying him with resentment, or wait until you see what I'm gonna do to you next life, or you know what, I'm going to the astral plane right now and I got connections up there and you better watch out, you better watch your back, okay? No, he's not saying that. He's looking at the people who are crucifying him with total compassion. He's like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, all right, I mean, you're crucifying another human, you're killing another human. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. I mean, if you're crucifying me, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know who you are. And so Jesus is feeling compassion. He's feeling love. He's embracing his people who are crucifying him, his killers, his murderers. He's embracing them. Okay? He's embracing the element of evil. This is the destructive element in the universe, the Shiva element. If you have noticed anything by observing nature, you'll see that things come to be, they rise, they go on for a little while, and then they perish. This is represented by the three godheads in Hinduism: Brahman, the creator god; Vishnu, the preserver god; and Shiva, the destroyer god. So Jesus sees how this all works out. He knows, it's all movies running off, karma running off, and he's not looking at the people who are crucifying him saying, anything, or resenting or blaming. He's like, it is what it is. You are at the part in the game where you still have complete amnesia to your true nature. Think about it. Anybody who is killing, and stealing and robbing and is just after their own self-interest, little s, little small self, okay? I don't like to make distinction between small self and big self because they're really one, but for the convenience of argument, they do not know who they are, because if they know who they are, they know that they are the consciousness that is animating everything that is even perceived. Okay, even this lamp, right? Even this lamp. it has consciousness, because anything you can perceive of, anything, so as long as you can perceive of it, it is your consciousness that is animating that particular object. Okay? So really, this is what compassion is. This is a compassionate saying by Jesus, and so how do we apply this in our own lives? How do we take this verse, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing? How do we run with it in our own lives, in our day-to-day lives? Well, a lot of you guys, when I do the Q&As, you ask me, how do I do something that is against the will of my parents? My parents don't approve of what I'm doing. They don't see it for me. They want me to go and get a degree and get a job and get married, and they're really insistent on me doing that. And if I try to do anything else, they kind of push my buttons a little bit. And well, what do you say now? Do you resent your parents? Do you tell your parents, you should see it my way? You should get out of your own bubble. Mama and Baba, you should really get out of your own bubble and see things as I'm seeing them. Expand your consciousness, expand your awareness. Do you do that, or do you say, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing? They just don't see it, perhaps. That, I'm just giving an example here with parents, okay? But take it even further. Can you do that with strangers? Okay, strangers. Say somebody cuts you off in traffic, or flips you, right? I gotta think for traffic. Okay, if you wanna test where my attachments are, they lie in traffic, my friends. Okay, so this is not easy for me to do, and I still frequently lose my temper when I'm driving. Okay, to be 100% honest. So, but we can learn from Jesus. I can learn from Jesus. If somebody cuts me off or gives me the finger for whatever reason, or they get mad at me, or they're honking for no reason, well, do I say, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing? If somebody flips me off, or do I flip them off right back and get all emotional and reactive about it, which I have a tendency to do? There you go. This is a chance to be compassionate. Like, if you're flipping people off, again, your consciousness isn't at a high level if you're going around flipping people off and honking at everybody, and because they're not driving the way you want them to drive, or you're in a rush, you gotta get home and fuck everybody else, right? Do you kind of get reactive about it, or do you say, well, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing? Because look, it's plain and simple. Somebody who is early in the game, playing this game of the illusion of enlightenment, the illusion of forgiving, the illusion of amnesia, okay? The evolution of soul, okay? If somebody's playing at the early stages of the game, they're suffering, okay? They're more than likely suffering, because separation by default is suffering. This sense of separation, which we start off the game at the lowest level of the separation, and then we kind of slowly, eons and eons, lifetime after lifetime, incarnation after incarnation, different life form, different planets, different dimensions, we do this game. Not just this particular game, and not just human. According to Buddhism, in fact, it's really, really rare to be a human being. So we keep doing this. And when you're in the early stages and you're still very, very stuck in the separation part, you're suffering. There's no other way around it. You're suffering. Separation by default is suffering. And union and oneness and finding your way back home. Okay, remembering. The best thing I can describe it, the best word I find, one of the best words is self-remembering. You're remembering. And in fact, once you remember who you are, it is not special. It's like, really? When you're really hyped up for a movie, like everybody's really hyping it up, right? And you go watch it and it turns out to be like really? It might be a good movie, but it was too overhyped. And you're like, really? You leave the theater. Is this it? I mean, you might have gotten excited a little bit at the climax or something, but you're like, is this it? Really? You know, and enlightenment is in many ways the same as that, really. Because all you're not doing anything special. You're just remembering who you are. That's the name of the game. So, yeah, anybody who is in the separation consciousness, is operating at a lower consciousness. Let's call it separation consciousness. They're suffering. They're suffering. And so really, from that other higher oneness, unity consciousness that Jesus was fully embodying, your only possible reaction would be that of compassion, would be that of, yeah, I see how it is. You know, like, again, I'll give you another example. If you've been like playing Call of Duty for a while, right, and you really kick ass in it, and then one of your friends comes in and they've never played Call of Duty, and they get on with the game and they start playing, and they're just getting completely destroyed. Okay, they're completely getting destroyed. Like they have 0 kills, and like they've been already killed 30 times. Okay. Don't you feel a little bit of compassion? Like, poor you, you know, Don't you feel a little bit of compassion there? Okay? Like, okay, look at this noob. Yeah, he's got ways to go. He's gonna have to play this game for a while before he even starts to be like at a balance, getting killed the same amount of time as killing somebody else, right? You feel a little bit of compassion. Like, you know, your friend is at an early stage. And you know, unless you're a mean person, you wouldn't make fun of your friend. You'd kind of want to teach him, right? You'd want to teach him. You know, you tell him, okay, watch out for the campers. Watch out for the campers. There's a lot of campers here. You watch out for the campers, okay? And then you tell him, you know, use, you know, this gun or that gun. Use this class, right? You'd probably want to teach him. And, you know, it's the same thing. I mean, that's what Jesus was here for. He was here to teach people. Remember, in those times, 2,000 years ago, we were living in the Kali Yuga, and perhaps we might still be living in the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga is the worst of times, okay? That's the worst of times. That's when the consciousness is at its lowest, okay? So Jesus came here because he recognized, he was hanging around in the astral plane, and he recognized, hey, you know, these guys can use some teachings here. They can use some dharma. They can use some wisdom. And he comes down here to teach, you know, because we're the noobs here playing, just started playing the game, and we're getting destroyed left, right, and center. And Jesus says, well, okay, look, I played this game. I've been there, done that. Let me show you how it's played. And Jesus comes down. He says, you know, this is how it's played, boys. This is how it's played. You know, that's how you play the game. And, of course, we don't see it. And then all Jesus can say at that point is, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. So keep that verse, keep that attitude in mind as you go on about life. Instead of demanding other people, that is your loved ones, your parents, strangers, and hell, even criminals. Okay, let's take it on a bigger level, even criminals. Instead of demanding from them that you should start to increase your consciousness. Why don't you go meditate? Why don't you go take psychedelics, you know? Go take psychedelics. It'll expand your mind. It'll expand your soul. You'll know who you are. Instead of... What's the word I'm looking for here? Instead of imposing... that's the word. Instead of imposing your way of perceiving the universe, your way of perceiving objective reality, making it subjective. Instead of imposing your way of doing things, just let people be. Live and let live. Be and let be. You let them be. You recognize that they're playing the game in the early stages. Okay, recognize it. It's not an ignoring. You don't, when you see your friend getting destroyed in Call of Duty because this is his first time playing Call of Duty, you're not ignoring it. You're aware of it. but you're compassionate about it. Okay, if you might be aware that your parents are still in the earlier stages of the game, okay, but do not impose your way of seeing things on them, because the way this process of evolution of consciousness works, it works on a spontaneous level. Either you see it or you don't. They call this in Christianity grace. This is the Lord's grace, right? You know, Saint Augustine tells you that our free will is basically the culprit. It is our desires and attachments, our free will to want to do things in a certain way, and it is the Lord's grace that liberates you. Okay, so it's the way evolution of consciousness works is it works spontaneously, very much like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Really, do you ever see a caterpillar like all stressed out, like, man, when am I gonna be a butterfly? When am I gonna be a butterfly? Damn it, I'm tired of being a caterpillar. No, a caterpillar is just going around, dancing merrily, ha ha ha, I'm a caterpillar, and suddenly it becomes a butterfly. And it's not sudden, it's a process unfolding, okay? And it becomes a butterfly. And it's the same way, you know, all of us are becoming butterflies. But the way the process works, it works spontaneously, it happens. That's the way, that's the Tao, that's the way of things, okay? It just happens. Like, you know, when you say, I don't know, it just happened. Like, it just happened. I don't know, it just happened. It just happened. And it's the same thing. So, that's the universal love. That's the unconditional love. That's the universal accepting of what is. That's one of the highest stages of the game. Is when you accept what is, you let you be and you let be. You see things for what they are. You see where everybody is playing the game. You recognize it, but you just say, Father, forgive them for they do not know. Now, you know, like, for example, I'll give you another example just to see things in perspective, okay? This man right here, Neem Kurli Baba, he's Ram Dass's guru. They call him the miracle guru because he was apparently, you know, doing all kinds of miracles, teleporting, reading minds, you name it. Been there, done that. He's been there, done that, okay? This is a self-realized being. This is the accounts of Ram Dass, but many people. Okay, I'll take their word. I'll trust it. My intuitive truth tells me, yes, this is a self-realized being. Now, imagine this guy looks at us, at me, okay? I'm like pretty much an idiot, and says, come on. You look at the way you're seeing reality. You know, if you do this, you'll be able to do miracles like I do, right? No, in fact, he's not even thinking. Miracles are just happening through him. When you become that pure, like when Jesus was walking on water, it wasn't like Jesus was sitting there thinking about walking on water. Jesus was just walking on water because it's the thing that needed to happen in that moment. It's the same thing with a self-realized being like Neem Kurli Baba. You know, the miracles that he was performing, so quote unquote, he wasn't performing them. They were just happening through him because they needed to happen. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, but he's not going to be looking at me or anybody with like, come on, do this, or, you know, trying to impose his way of seeing the world, of being in that ultimate state of Godhead. No, he's actually like very compassionate, right? He sees how the game works. He knows how it is. He's been there, done that. What do you think? You think Jesus is just Jesus? No, same thing. Jesus has been through the game, been playing the game for a while, been there, done that, and he's always the highest score in Call of Duty. He's always the one that's like, that has like 30 kills and like he's been killed only 2 or 3 times or something. You know, he's always the one that's lifting the team because he's just been playing for a really long time. So, that's where I'm gonna finish off this rant. This was fun to make. And I want to thank all our lovely, beautiful Patreons for supporting this idiot so that he can keep dedicating more and more of his attention and his time towards all of this stuff. What do we call it here? Consciousness, philosophy, enlightenment, isness, the Tao, whatever. Names don't matter, right? Names, it's nameless anyway. So I want to really thank you guys, okay? Mwah. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing, and I can show you my appreciation forever and ever and ever, but I'll always be appreciative every day. Every day. I make videos almost every day, and I say my appreciations at the end of the video, and I mean them sincerely every time I make the video, and I appreciate you guys. I sincerely mean it. Okay? So thank you guys, and if you would like to support us, help this idiot keep doing what he's doing and dedicate his full-time attention to it. If you'd like to support us, if you maybe want to show, I don't know, your appreciation of these videos with buying me a cup of tea or a cup of lemon water every month, right? You know, I'm not gonna say no. I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna say no. Yeah, I'm not gonna say no. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. So if you'd like to contribute, we're a community, right? And you're not just contributing to this idiot here. You're contributing to the community. Okay. I'd like to hold retreats and start a charity. There's a lot of things I want to do here as the community grows. So think of this like it's a community. Okay, it's a community. So God bless you. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Mwah. One love. And until next time, and may the force be with you.